Morning, it's Yvette from Lemonade Design. Today I'm going to have a look at the back end of your website. So really this is just about getting to know your website and its functionality. So when you log into the back end, this is what everybody will be faced with unless you've made customization to here. So the first thing I always go and look for is any updates, but that's covered in another video, so I won't do the updates to here, but you click on this cog here and this will always show you what updates are available for you to do. So it's only got one update there. So coming down from the top, all-in-one SEO, you may have Yoast, you may have all-in-one SEO, just depends on if you had a website previously and Yoast was on it, I would have brought over Yoast. If I was building a new site, I would have added this in, and although I may not have set everything up for you, it depends on what you've had, but you can click on the various elements here, and I do have a tutorial video available if somebody wants to watch what you need to do to set up your all-in-one SEO. If you've got an image that's showing when you share your website to social media and it's not the one that you want, you can actually change that within here. It's in the social media meta tab, and there it's this part here where you upload an image. So there and there, that will make sure that if there's no featured image, or it will then feature this one, but it always says show featured image first. But this one is the one here that will show when you share your website to social media. So then we come down to posts. If you're familiar with blogging, then this is exactly the same as you will be used to, and I do have a post on doing a blog post, so you can watch that video for that, but in exactly the same way as you have been using blogging. And we've got the media library, and you can add images into here. I've got Imagify on here, which is an optimization tool. If I switch to list view, it will actually optimize my images, it won't do it in the grid format. Somebody recently asked me, is it possible to add folders? Yes, it is. There are some plugins that do that. It's entirely up to you whether you want to add that. It's not a feature that I add though. And then we come down to pages. So these are the main pages that are on your website. So here, these type of pages here, the ones that pages refers to. So I've got various different pages here. If you've got any that are in draft format and you're not going to use them, I would be inclined to delete them. I've got a couple that I did for yesterday's video, so I'm just going to delete those now. You just don't want Google optimizing them or adding them to your search and throwing up any issues. So once they're moved to the trash can, you can just empty it. Next we've got comments. So this is if you've got a blog post and somebody's made a comment on it, you can actually approve, or I reckon this is spam, so I'm going to mark it as spam. And then from there, you probably won't be using projects, but if you do, I've got it on my website. My projects are under recent projects here. That's these pages here. It's just a way that I've displayed my clients' different projects. But as I say, most of you probably won't have projects on your website, but it is something that you could use if you had a venue or something that you wanted to highlight, then you could. Generally speaking, you're not going to need to touch anything that's in appearances, so I won't bother touching on those. But then plugins, this is where you could add or remove plugins if you wanted to. What I would say is be mindful that the more you add, the slower your site will be. I've probably got some on here that don't really need to be here, but that's a sort out for another day. If you use us, if you needed to add somebody temporary, this is where you would go, and you can add new people here, and then you just put in their details. Tools, so there's various different tools available for you here. Again, probably something that you're not going to be likely to do. If you've got a redirection plugin, it's probably going to be sitting here within tools. Settings, so there's various different settings here. You've got your general settings, which is all of this here, sites language, and you can change this to GMT, wherever GMT's got. Or London. There we go. So you can change that if you want to. And it says that any new, you can also check your email address here. If you're not getting emails, it's worth looking here. Just make sure that this email is correct. A lot of web hosting companies insist that you have the same email as the domain. So if you're having a problem with emails, it may be that the plugin's not up to date, but it could also be that this here is the reason. So as I've made a change to there, let's go and save that. Then you've got other different tabs here that you can go through. I've got a plugin called Anti-Spam Bee. It's for comments, spam comments. And then if you've got a lovely style blog, like I've got, if you've got a blog that's styled something like this, then the page that refers to that would be in here and here. Although those aren't the ones that we would edit from, but if you look at them, it tells you which ones are the correct ones if you needed to edit something. So single post layer and archive layer are the two ones that you would edit if you needed to, and you'll find those in the Divi library. This refers to my SSL certificate. And this is just telling me that if I want to do various things, then I need to upgrade basically to benefit. I have a 404.301 page on my website, so if you went to my website and typed in something like that, which I know is not a page, it will take you to this page that basically tells you that you've landed on a page that doesn't exist. and you can type in here whatever you're looking for and then it will search. Then you're not going to have that on everybody's website. That's something that's specific to hosting. So the next one, if you've got Blog Vault Backup Security, if you've paid for it through me, you should see my email address here and when it was last synced. If it's not connected or you've got paid for it yourself, then you'll see your email address there. So it's always worth looking here. If you think you've paid for it, you can check with me, but just make sure it's backing up here. Otherwise, you don't need to do anything. Instagram feed. You can use this if you want to. I actually have just started using something called Alf Sites because it gives me information over the images. But if you use an Instagram feed, then it's very self-explanatory. Log in and then you can connect your Instagram and then you just go through the various customization here. If you've got this installed on your website and it stops working, it's always worth scooting down right to the very bottom and where it says clear cache build-up, just click that and it'll clear the cache. Not everybody will have this one here, so there's no point in covering that. The grid though, this is where I've got any of my galleries, and I will cover this in more detail. But if you've got a gallery on your website, it's most likely that I've used the grid plugin, and as I say, I will cover that in more detail. Use any font. You're probably not going to need to add any more different fonts to your website now it's done, but if you did and you've got this installed, then you can add them here. Bloom is your opt-in pop-up email that jumps up if you've got one installed when you load your website for the first time. And the settings are all in here, so I can show you that on another video. And then we're really down to the Divi stuff here. So theme options, this is things where you can upload a new logo, add any colours, show any icons on the footer. I tend to prefer not, so I'm going to just literally disable all of those. And that's really it for there, but if you do any changes, just save it. If your website page isn't looking right, maybe it looks completely alien to how you've been used to seeing it. If you go to Builder, Advanced, make sure that Enable Latest Builder and Classic Editor are enabled here. So then that will return it to how you've always been used to seeing it. Integration, if you want to add your Facebook pixel, you would add that into here. And your updates, I will have put my code and everything into here, and that will have been saved. The only other ones here are Theme Customizer. So if you've added a new page and you want to add it to the menu for argument's sake, then you can do that here in your menu, and you just go add an item, and then you can do it from pages or categories depending on what it is. You've got your general settings here, site identity, so you can upload your favicon here if you've got one. Your navigation bar, this is this bit here. buttons, you can alter the style of them here. And that's really that. And then the Divi library is really the last place that you would go to look at anything or change anything. So remember I said to you about the single layout. If I wanted to alter something about this, then I can do that here. So if I wanted this background to be different, I can go to here, put in single post, click on this. I do recommend having the front end of this open because you can't edit this from this end, it has to be done within this settings here. If this keeps going round and round and round in circles, then you can, if you want to, just go and turn it to classic build while you do this part, but it's plain ball at the moment. Click on the blue cog there, and you can alter the background here. So let's make it the yellow colour. And I've probably got the same background here, and it may well be in here as well. I've got a white one there, so let's make that yellow. Update that, and then refresh this. Still refreshing, so let's wait a second. No, it should have changed if I do it now. No. Go back again. So it has done it. Just try that now. Let's try again. Nope, it's definitely not playing ball. Yes, it should definitely be this one that's doing it. So I'll try it one last time. At this point I would be clearing the cache on this, as it's probably just a build-up of cache as to why it's not doing it. I won't do that on the recording because it will pause the recording. I'll give it one last shot at this. No, it really doesn't want to do it, so it will be clearing the cache. I will just show you one other thing that you can do, although it's not working its way around the back end, but you can also, and I would recommend that you close any other pages when you do this, you can also edit from the front. So here I am on the front end, you can go enable visual builder. from here you can actually change things around. So if you wanted to change a picture for argument's sake, you can do that here. You can change a picture. If you wanted to save it, you'd save it there. I'm not going to save it, so you'd save it there. And then once you've made your changes, you save, and exit. If you wanted to change the text, and just hover over the section that it's in, or a picture, you hover over the section that it's in, and you can alter things there. That's it. That's an overview of your website. I hope you found this helpful. Any questions, just let me know.